Hey everyone, this is my Patreon proud reaction to the second episode of Zettai Karen Children, and hopefully this time I do not have any kind of recording mess up that I have to spend hours in editing to fix. But anyway, last episode was a fun one, you know? So obviously first episodes I don't really know much about what's going on, I don't really know any of the characters or anything, so it could be kind of rough to really get invested in what's going on, but taking that into consideration, the first episode was still pretty enjoyable. I felt like it served its purpose, you know, I get a feel for the characters, what their interactions are like, what they do, you know, the Esper missions. You know, they're apparently like a squad that they bring in when they have Esper problems, you know? Fight fire with fire, fight Espers with Espers, that sort of thing. You know, some people kind of spoil them, some people kind of don't kind of treat them like wild animals or whatever, but they're definitely a necessary thing. I think everyone acknowledges that, at least, because regular police officers, they can't handle Espers attacking places. They can't do it. So they did get like better equipment by the end of the episode, though. That's good. Now, I guess now we'll just see what exactly we're gonna do now that we've got the general idea of the show established. Are we gonna go on another mission? Are we gonna take a step back from that and maybe do something else? Probably not. We're probably just gonna do more missions. You know, there's always problems happening in the world, so let's see how we deal with that. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, Kaoru's on the scene of something. She looks like she's ready for combat. I got that. She blows things up, she breaks things. And she was the mind reader, right? Solving the maze, I guess. Or no, she's, okay, I get it now. Pretty good. And then there's her. Okay, I thought she was in a pool or something, but no. She's the teleporter. Shirai Kuroko. And there's Japan. You could have said this stuff in episode 1, you know. Our special squad. That are quite a handful. Probably. So yeah, we actually got a real overview of the concept of the show there. It's pretty nice. And it's a great opening. It really does sound like that one meme song. It really does. It still does. I love how excited she looks when she's in combat. Guess it's important to enjoy your work. Yeah, we have the lyrics in Japanese, we have it in Romaji, but no translation. Very Daiton. Especially Kaoru. Man, the Aoi really kind of poses a lot, doesn't she? They're pretty good. Yeah, if you want to put it short. Yes, I do. Yeah, I got this. Don't worry about it. I can handle it. It's not quite what he meant, but Children. Just love people say in the head. Children. It's not wrong at all. So I've heard. By the way, my cat's on my lap and I'm petting him, so if I seem distracted at all, that might be it. Very important job. Yeah, when the police can't handle something, they come to us. Pretty much. Take good care to have a healthy heart. Stop wiggling your tail. Double face. Oh, okay. What do you mean by that? Oh? Okay, I guess we just saw their thing there. Oh. Wow. Oh, man. Somebody got exposed. No two pigs are getting past us. Tell you that. So they are indeed Espers. And they are quite pretty as well, definitely. I probably wouldn't count on that. Ouch. That's a no. Rejected. Oh. Wait, what's this room? That's pretty cool. This place is definitely pretty equipped. Whew. Wow. That's pretty impressive. Naomi. Okay, I'll just call her Naomi. Maybe she should stop yelling. Oh, she was able to do more. So there are more than just the three. Naomi seems nice. Yeah, you're getting distracted, Naomi. Well, oh wow, where do we go now? Oh, whoa. Did we just walk into a maid cafe? Is that what we just walked into? What you're saying and what I'm seeing are a little bit different. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much what I was saying. So how do I get a job here? Just gonna ask that. Our hard workers of it. Oh god, those are robots! Those are... Wow. Okay then. Okay, it wasn't just perspective, that really was small. Okay. I wasn't sure. Well, that took a turn. I don't know, I kinda wanna stay there a bit longer. But it's okay, we can move on. Okay. Huh. I gotta say I like the last room better. Oh, it's popping open. Okay. The farm. Don't send it back to the farm. 68, that's just so close. So they do swap people out, it seems like. It makes sense. Right. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Pretty interesting. Do we got a situation? I see a lot of alerts popping up. Oh, yeah, I think we have a problem. Oh, not a gas station. Yeah. Is this the end of the tour? That's good. Yeah, solving problems would be much easier if we could predict them, so it's a good system we have here. But it was predicted, though. So what will happen, I wonder? A crash? Oh no, yeah, looks like we're gonna have a crash. Might want to move, guys. Like now. Like get behind a building or something. Oh, is that our squad? Our lovely squad? They know how to make an entrance. They made sure to stand on the building that gave them the moon backdrop. Wow, he was super dramatic with that. But yeah, the limit's removed, and now we're gonna have to save the day. Really is a cool shot. Okay, we got it stopped at least. Can we like set it down gently over to the side? Ah, we entered it. Yeah, what happened to the pilot? Did he get knocked out or something? Did he have one too many? Yeah, good teamwork here. Everyone's getting to use their powers. Okay. That's definitely not his fault then. And we can get him to safety. So yeah, pretty much 100% mission complete, it seems like. Okay. I guess it's not dealt with just yet. Are we arguing? Okay. Yeah, maybe we should not do that. Well, yeah, you kind of have to accept orders when you're in a position like that. It kind of comes with the territory. Just don't kill this man, Kaoru. Okay, looks like she didn't just... Looks like she didn't murder him, that's good. But what about the plane? Is that still up there? Because we might want to do something about that if it is. Yeah, but the plane, that's kind of the biggest problem. That was kind of the main problem. Yeah, I definitely spoke too soon. It did not... It was not 100% success after all. Oh, we're really halfway through? Wow, where'd the time go? So we're gonna get yelled at for this? I imagine we will. It kind of was, though. You know, when you ignore orders and something bad happens, you can't really call it an accident. Luckily, you three are lovely. But I think he's still angry. Yeah, that's really important, guys. You need to get better at that, especially you, Kaoru. And Genki is one word for it. Oh, I thought he was just gonna check his temperature, but we got Espers in this show, so he probably did a bit more than that. He's got the magic. I would not want to be treated by someone called the Psycho Doctor. I just wouldn't want that. That's actually kind of concerning to hear. Huh, they changed. Back to our favorite magazine. Don't insult that fine literature. Well, they're on the same page. Oh god, that laugh. That face. Man, he's just getting all sorts of called out this scene. Well, they're Espers, so they're probably a little bit different than standard. It's kind of a big deal. I don't think it works that way. Come on, Carter, you can't just keep breaking things. I would not want to be the one in charge of these three. Especially not Kaoru. It's pretty high. Yeah, because that helped so much last time. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure it would. I have a feeling he will. I have a feeling he'll stick. But anyway, that's why she wanted to leave the room, because she was so bothered by the subject. So what's up? Is this... I guess this is what they were meant before about, like, your mental state messing with your powers. I think that's what's happening here. So that's probably going to be a problem. Yeah, that's... it might be too late. Maybe he won't last too long, actually, at this rate. We're just... Come on, Kaoru, get it together. That poor helicopter. At least we seem to get out of it. Get out of it just fine. Although, where's Kaoru? I don't think I saw her. Where did she go? Yeah, where did you go, Kaoru? Oh, jeez. Ouch. Ow. Are you okay? I mean, she's right. It's probably pretty dangerous to go near her, but he's understandably worried. Ooh. Do we have any kind of something we can do with these situations? Like, is there a protocol, like a strategy for handling this? Okay. Trouble has already started, man. If you were here, you would understand. We are already in trouble. Okay, that would be a good starting point. Never mind. That's probably hurts a lot. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know what he could do to help, but maybe a head pat or a hug will help calm her down, or he could pin her down. Yeah, this is extremely risky. Out of context, this looks pretty bad, but I still don't quite see how it would help. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah? Don't do anything too dangerous, Kaoru. Flashback? A sad flashback. Well, hello to you. We don't want you killing the other children by accident, so... Very sad, though. I'm not sure how to respond to any of that. Yeah, that was really not a smart thing to do, Kaoru. Very dangerous. But she seems okay, though. Still has a smug look as soon as she comes back. No. Yeah, he was genuinely worried about you. We don't need a main character dying in episode 2, okay, Kaoru? He did nothing wrong. If anything, he saved Kaoru. There wasn't really anything he could do to prevent anything bad that happened here. He definitely got through to Kaoru this episode. Yeah, I don't want him pinning us down again. That's what I was telling you. He's different. And that was the episode. We did have a couple missions this episode, but it wasn't really the focus at all. And Kaoru just kind of floating up there. As you do. Probably shouldn't do that with such a short skirt. Zettai, love. You know, only has 2 hands and 3 girls. It's not enough hands to go around. That's why Kaoru just chases butterflies. just squishing her with her leg. We're going to his place? That's the question. When you say here, do you mean at your apartment? Because that would definitely be something. Okay. Okay. That was the second episode of Zettai Karen Children, and pretty solid stuff here. Now, we did have a couple missions, but the focus of the episode was kind of two things. On kind of expanding and clarifying the way their organization works, as well as getting into some like specific Karen stuff and just having Minamoto kind of fully accepted amongst their little squad. I think that's kind of the three main aspects of the episode. So, yeah, the place itself, Babel, we learned a lot about what it does exactly, and they have different, like, areas. Like, they have Esper training stuff, they have, like, weapon development stuff, they have prediction stuff, which is very important, because they can figure out what bad's gonna happen, and then they can go prevent it. In theory, at least. In this episode, they didn't seem to do a lot of good, really, because the planes still crashed into the gas station, because, you know, and also the helicopter crashed. I mean, nobody died, so I guess some good came of it, but not a lot, because Kaoru still doesn't... Kaoru seems to have a problem with authority, like she doesn't follow orders very well at all. She deliberately breaks equipment when she's getting emotional. She's kind of a big problem. Maybe we shouldn't spoil them so much if that's going to be the end result. But maybe she'll mellow out over time. We'll see. We actually got to meet a new Esper here. Naomi, who just kind of stands under a waterfall. You know, like a classic sort of training. Except instead of the water, like, hitting the head, it just, like, goes away from the head because of the Esper powers. So, it's pretty cool. Naomi seems nice. Kitty cat, as he calls her. She looks a little bit older than our main squad does, but it's hard to tell with anime characters. And then we had this room. This was a funny one, because the first thing we really see is like shiny pink curtains and sparkles and stuff and girls in maid outfits. So this felt a bit out of place in this sort of organization. So I was a little bit confused, and they called it a workshop. They called it like, yeah, room for modification of equipment and stuff like that. Develop new proprietary weaponry as well. As they were saying all this, there was such a disconnect between what they were saying and what I was seeing. I was just sitting here very confused. Like, are we on the wrong floor? That was kind of what I was thinking. And Minamoto says what was on my mind pretty much. But then it made a bit more sense. Oh, I actually completely missed that. He had like the figure in his pocket when he first showed up. Okay, that makes sense. I completely missed that. But anyway, once we saw they were all robots, a lot made a lot more sense. So he just kind of has like a harem of just maid robot girls. I mean, just living the dream right there, really. So, I mean, great job right there. Yeah, then went to the prediction room. And we had all these people like in capsules, so we just kind of use them in the machinery and all this stuff to make these calculations. So it's pretty cool, pretty good system. We swap out people when needed. So, and then our first mission was kind of the gas station, which was going to blow up. We didn't know how, but we knew we had to prevent it, so we tried to do what we could. And it turned out a plane was going to crash into them. And luckily our squad shows up to save the day. And they do a pretty good job initially. Like, they stop it, they teleport into there, and then Shiho, like, reads his mind, his heart, to see what the issue was, and it was like a heart attack, and so not his fault or anything, we got him out of there. So at that point, everything seemed to go pretty well. But then Kaoru starts to ignore orders, do whatever she wants, and it just ends up crashing and people get hurt. So, yeah, and I was just saying, too, how, like, yay, this went perfectly. Like, it's going so smoothly, nothing's going wrong. This is 100% success, and then I was proven wrong because it went horribly after that. So, it's hard to get too mad at Kaoru, though, because she's trying her best and stuff, and there's a lot of circumstances with her upbringing and whatnot, so it's hard to get too mad at her, but still, she needs to need to do a better job following orders going forward. Like we do need to work on that. And then we had the scene with Minamoto in the hospital bed. This is one of the more funny scenes, you know, because we see the three of them looking a little bit guilty. Well, sort of, not really Kaoru. But we have Aoi looking away, you know, averting her eyes in one direction. Then we have Shiho averting her eyes in the other direction. And then Kaoru, just arms crossed, eyes closed, being like, yeah, just that it was an accident, act of God, nobody could have possibly prevented it, you know. Nobody's really at fault here, just things happen, you know, let's move on. You know, she was doing all that. And, of course, in reality, that's not true. We could have definitely done things a little bit differently and things would have went a lot better. But they were all kind of doing their best to sweep this under the rug, kind of just bribe him to not get mad at them. But he wasn't having any of it. Because, yeah, he's responsible for them. If they make mistakes, he's got to pay for it. He gets yelled at. So, yeah. It was cool just seeing, like, the various positions we have Espers in, like, medical or receptionist. Like, almost any job, there's technically Espers that can do it in a better way than a normal person. So, yeah, a lot of potential with things this organization could do. And apparently you have to do checklists for them as well because their powers are very much affected by their mental state, which makes a lot of sense because their powers are very mental-based. Like mind powers, that's essentially what an Esper is. So it definitely makes sense that we would do routine checkups. Yeah, checkups on them after like missions and stuff. That's good. This was a fun scene too. They changed into their like pink like medical clothing. And the first one we do is Kaoru, who's just like laying there reading her usual amazing literature. And the doctor seems to actually be pretty, like, fairly buddy-buddy with Kaoru. Like, that was actually pretty surprising to see. They even said the same line to Minamoto at the same time. So, and yeah, the magazine itself is pretty nice, and he clearly seems to enjoy it, despite what he says. And then just, yeah, the whole thing was basically just teasing Minamoto, so it was a lot of fun, I would say. Some good bonding stuff here. Like, everyone just kind of piles on. It was fun, I liked it. Definitely giving us a bit of a peek of the dynamic the four of them will have going forward. But we brought up a pretty serious thing here amongst the lighthearted fun, and that was the fact that they are not normal children. They are definitely not. They are Espers, and they would never be raised the same way as normal children because there's the risk. Like we even saw in this episode, what goes wrong when when they lose control of their powers. If that happened in the middle of a kindergarten class, you just have several dead children, and they're obviously not going to risk that. So Kaoru and the rest of them never had any real chance to have a real childhood. So once we got into this and she was reminded of this, her mood definitely took a bit of a nosedive and she just wanted to leave. Which is fine, but she didn't have to break the equipment on the way out. That's the biggest problem. But yeah, also amongst this stuff, Kaoru especially is still trying to figure out whether they want to fully accept Minamoto, because I kind of got the impression that people in his position kind of come and go, and they don't get too attached to them as a result, because it's a very demanding job, like looking after these three Espers, troublemakers, Kaoru, the troublemaker. That's a lot to do. Not everyone's fit for that job. But by the end of the episode, I think they, again, mostly Kaoru, was pretty convinced that he's a little bit different, which is good. So we can kind of move forward now that we've got that established. And yeah, definitely the biggest conflict in the episode was Kaoru losing control, like they kind of foreshadowed earlier in the episode. But this was a good chance for Minamoto to really show that he's serious about this. He will protect them as best he can. And, you know, I wasn't really sure what the whole, like, pinning her down thing would do. But I guess if the pressure's coming from, like, above, like, I'm not sure exactly how the mechanics work, but if it is just a regular kind of gravity thing, then I guess we're supposed to believe that he got in the way, like, in between the force and her, so it greatly reduced the force that was on her. I guess that was what was supposed to be happening there. Otherwise, I don't see what good it would do, so I'm just going to assume that's how it works. And Kaoru did something extremely dangerous here, like just cutting off her own oxygen and mental ability, which is very dangerous, by the way. If your brain doesn't get oxygen for a certain amount of time, you kind of just get brain dead. It's horrible, so that was very risky, but luckily it didn't seem to be too bad. And it did give us the bit of a flashback to really confirm the suspicions that, yeah, they were not allowed to go to to kindergarten to have a normal childhood. And the worst thing about that is that it's not their fault. These are powers they were born with, and yet they feel like they're being punished for it because a kindergarten is not going to understand anything complicated like this. So the only way they're really going to be able to take it is that I did something wrong. Like there's something bad about with these powers. Like I should feel bad about that. Like it's terrible. It's a really terrible thing. And even though they're a little bit older than that now, it still definitely weighs on them. Just what they are, the missed opportunity to be a normal child, and just it's pretty horrible. And they're coping with it as best they can. Kaoru clearly acts out a lot in a way to deal with that. So that's why I don't get too mad at her. But yeah, that was pretty much the episode. So we bonded. We got to know them a little bit better in their circumstances. We know a little bit more about the organization now. We can just go in a more positive direction as a overall group, Minamoto included. So, and yeah, the preview seemed to have a bit of a focus on where he lives. Almost like they were implying that they were going to live with him, which would be interesting for several reasons. I don't know if that's what it was or not, but it's what it seemed like. So, I guess we'll see. But, yeah, pretty good episode. And, yeah, pretty much all I had to say. So, I'm gonna end out the video now. Thank you for watching. And a special thanks to Cnouki and Ryan for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.